Hello. What's up, everybody? Welcome to FSP Fun Speculation Podcast, episode number 34. We are live, and it's been a interesting Monday, to say the least, in the gaming world. An interesting weekend, actually, and it's getting even more interesting as the days go by. I had a show planned today, and due to things going on out there in the Twitter sphere and that I noticed on YouTube, we actually shifted course a little bit on this show. And we're going to be having a little bit of a different kind of conversation today, revolving the gaming industry and the impact on recent events and stuff. We got to be very careful with what we say and our words, because guess what? Things are crazy out there right now, and you can't be too careful, honestly. So, but joining me as always is two amazing panelists here on our channel, part of our Fun Spec fam. We'll start with the always fuzzy one himself, Fuzzy Belvedere. What's up, dude?
Not much, man. Just like you said, crazy weekend. Trying to just go through it all, and man, so glad to be here with you guys to discuss it.
Yeah, dude. We're gonna be discussing recent events in a very vague way today, but it's worth the discussion still, right? Jasper Gaming, the Lord Master Jasper, however you want to say it. That's the old name. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
What's up,
you
Jasper? How you doing?
it's going good, I guess. Just kind of waiting for Modern Warfare to come out and play that.
Yeah. That when does that release for Xbox, the beta?
22nd is the beta if you pre-order it,
Okay.
I think.
Right.
Nice.
I mean, I might as well pre-order it because I know I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
You know, there's been a lot of talk about Modern Warfare 2. Some people love it, some people hate it. The beta, from what I'm seeing, the talk out there, because I haven't played it yet. I didn't want to pre-order it on PlayStation, because that's not where I'm going to be playing it.
Because you
Right?
can't cancel it on there. And
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I'm playing on Xbox, right? So I've just been patient, and I'll try out the beta on there. I was actually thinking of even skipping it altogether, just because the Vanguard beta ruined that game for me. I wasn't even gonna go and get it at all. But I'm seeing what I'm seeing overall is like the complaints are not like it's broken, it's a mess, or it's like
Well,
no well okay.
the first day there was you could glitch under the map and in walls and shoot people through maps and walls. So I
Okay,
think they may have patched that because
right.
they're doing constant patches every day for the beta. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vanguard beta was the worst beta I've ever played. For me, that was even worse than the Battlefield beta that they had last year. And it really, I mean, the game also, Vanguard, some people like it, but for the most part, I think it's pretty much well thought as the worst Call of Duty ever, potentially. But this next one, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Call of Duty's dead now. Call of Duty's shit." But a lot of the feedback I keep seeing is like what I wanted to see from Call of Duty, about it's more slower paced, and the guns feel more real, and the sound is crazy, and like all these things. And I'm like, well, that sounds like Modern Warfare. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want from a Modern Warfare game, and I wanted to take that step. And so it's been seeing a lot of mixed feelings on it. Are y'all are y'all excited to play this Modern
I
Warfare?
am.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, I'm more of the campaign kind of guy, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pre-ordering it, and I'm debating on the vault deal because I think my son will wind up playing online more, and I think if I do the vault, I wind up getting the stuff as opposed to him getting the stuff.
Yeah,
Even
you
though we
probably would.
console share, so it's like, I'll probably just get the base game for now and let him see if he can get the season upgrade or something down the road.
Yeah. It's interesting, man. I'm thinking that this Call of Duty is going to be probably the biggest one ever, potentially.
It
I
has the most modes and
Yeah,
everything too.
yeah. It's like
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting at. It's like there's something in here in this game for everybody, and we haven't even seen the campaign yet, right? And you were talking
Well,
about the
yeah, they
campaign
showed that
flows,
off at
just like
E3.
snippets, but like not like we haven't seen like live gameplay where they're just going and playing the game and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Have
I
we?
mean, I don't think we'll see that.
You don't think
Really.
so? Like, because that's usually the most impressive thing, especially with the Infinity Ward games, right? Is that campaign. I think the campaigns the last couple of games may have not been what I was looking for also, right? This one is going to be pretty big, I think. And plus, you got the 2v2 modes, you got the 3v3 mode also. Then you have the ground control, and you got the
Ground War,
ground,
DMZ,
yeah.
Warzone,
I mean, all of
raids.
this stuff, dude, and
Yeah.
Warzone 2.0. There's a reason even just with that to be excited, So I'm really pumped for Call of Duty. I can't wait to play that beta, and I don't think it'll deter me away from the game
The
at
one
all.
thing that's annoying me right now that they need to address is Last Stand. I want them to get that out of the game. But other than
Yeah.
that, everything's looking pretty good.
Right? You don't like when they're laying on the ground and they can pistol you to death?
Yeah, but in this one, in Last Stand, they can actually inject themselves and revive them and come back to life. So
Oh, dude, I
they're not
love
just
that.
laying there bleeding out. That's stupid.
I used to love shooting people when I was laying on the ground. It was so great. Remember the first Call of Duty Modern Warfare where they had the grenade explosion?
Martyrdom, yeah.
Martyrdom, yeah. Then there was also a perk where you had like extra shields and stuff like that too.
Juggernaut.
Yeah. Oh man, like there was so much stuff that we hated back then, but like if you think back on it, it's like fond memories because it was over the top fun also for the most part, right? Shout out to Calorie, shout out to Nix. Calorie said, not gonna lie, Mav's podcast spoil me. So many other podcasts state incorrect news and don't listen when chat corrects the incorrect stuff they are saying. Yeah, I try and pay attention to the chat, and we don't pretend to know everything. And we're just regular people, regular gamers that have opinions. And guess what? Sometimes the chat knows more than we do. In fact, actually, that's kind of how Jasper made his way onto our shows, because he was kept correcting us on so much Halo stuff, and we're talking about Halo. And we ended up playing Halo Master Chief Collection with him. Me and 3-Bit did. And we're like, oh, this is pretty cool, actually. You know what I mean? And he knows the stuff. And he's actually pretty damn good also. Oh, shit. And we started playing with him more and more. And he ended up... we ended up inviting him to a lot of our shows. Now he's like on more shows than I think anybody else, like as far as any of our panelists, like with I think so, because you do like all the co-stream stuff lately, and
I mean,
all these different random things. It's pretty crazy, dude. But appreciate you for all of that. Calorie says a podcast earlier was saying the game was a blank. I'm being very careful with my words because people are getting struck for ridiculous reasons. Yeah, I see that. I see that, Calorie, and it's interesting. We're gonna get into some vague conversation about the gaming industry here and how big dumpings of information that's way before they're supposed to be seen by the public affects the gaming industry and the public. Without, I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to even give any opinions. Nothing like that.
Do you want to like maybe talk about the Forge stuff? So this is kind of in the middle of the show, so that it may not get detected as much.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll get into that. Let's get in. We're going to get into some gaming industry and recent events topics here. But like Jasper was saying, we did just have today. We had the second wave of Halo Infinite Forge news come from 343, where they had another developer sit down video, and they broke down the nodes and how scripting and stuff goes into the game. Also with nav mesh and how the AI and the bots are going to be able to navigate around custom maps and stuff like that. So there's a lot of information that was shared there. I know Jasper had a chance to catch it. Do you have a chance to catch that, Fuzz, at all?
No, I didn't. I haven't got a chance to check it out, but I did see a couple of like earlier things that were shown, like the scripting for like a boss that you can add into Forge and stuff like that. So the fact that they're giving us so much to be able to script into the game, I think this is going to be like, if you ever wanted to try your hand at building your own game within Halo, this is definitely a good start point.
Yeah, I was noticing where they have like stuff that you can have pop up on the screen when certain events happen, and I can just see this being utilized in like so many different ways. They showed an assault rifle turn into a rocket launcher, which I guess was something that could happen in Halo 5. But what they did is they took like a bug or something that wasn't necessarily supposed to be in the game, and they kind of ran with it and made it into a big part of this Forge, right? And Jasper, what was your biggest takeaway from the Forge information we had today?
Before I get into that, just to answer Ron's question, he was asking if you could like just delete everything on the map. I'm pretty sure just like permanent buildings that you can't, like hard objects like buildings, you're probably not going to be able to delete. Maybe like small shacks or something around the map you could, but pretty sure just like really hard objects you're not going to be able to delete. But other than that, and you also can create empty maps. So if you just want to start from scratch, you can do that.
I think that's the way to go almost. You know what I mean? Like, unless you just want, okay, here's, because the stock maps, a lot of them are going to be pretty similar at the end of the day. I mean, you can maybe
Yeah.
tweak them and stuff, but like, it seems like these tools are so deep where you can start from scratch and pretty much create whatever you want, especially
Yeah,
the object count there.
Yeah, like you could. A lot of times it's easier to start with a flat like map, and usually they're empty maps. You just kind of start in space and float. So you can put down a flat tile, and since this one like you can scale it up, you don't have to keep putting a bunch of flat tiles down
Yeah.
to make a flat floor. So that's going to be easier to just start creating basic maps. Other than that, in today's stream, they talked about scripting and stuff. The biggest takeaway from that is that you can pretty much create anything you want, because what they showed is pretty much like a basic code editor. Like when you take coding classes and stuff, like one of your first intros is you start with blocks and you just kind of put them together to make basic code. And that's pretty much what they showed off today, is you can connect those blocks to create whatever you want with their tools. Yeah, just like the possibilities are pretty much endless with that. It just kind of limits with whatever settings they give you, which seems to be a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's limitless. You can just do whatever you want.
Yeah. It seems like there's an infinite possibilities. The other aspect of this that was really intriguing to me, which I think is going to be extremely useful, is being able to test it with bots. Right? So when you're making a map, one thing is, what you don't know exactly, and this goes back to when I used to make maps on other games, right? Like, you don't know exactly how it's going to play when you actually have like a full squad there. Like, is this going to play well? Like, is this going to feel the right size for the amount of players that I'm trying to do? Like, all these different aspects weigh into that, and being able to just turn on bots in the game when you're testing it on the fly like that is going to allow you to make little changes and tweaks if you like something. Oh, that'd be cool if there was something over there that you could get up on, and you know what I mean? Little sightline aspects and stuff like this too.
For bots, like seeing how the map flows really isn't too big of a deal for me. It's more like trying to figure out the rules, because that was always the hardest problem, was like you flip this setting, is like, is that going to affect, is that the right rule that I want to have it? Like, are they going to, like, when they die, are they going to become, if they die first, are they going to become the next like Juggernaut or whatever? So like just testing that out and making sure all that stuff works for like the rules of the game. That's really helpful for bots. Instead of having to invite 4 friends over and be like, hey,
let's
test this map out for an hour and a half and try to get the rules right. It's like,
yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, I think that's going to help a lot. You know, especially like when I was trying to describe this game mode that I wanted to try and create before, you know what I mean? It's going to require a lot of like tinkering with the characters. The characters on this side are going to have this, then the characters on that side are going to have that, right? And what happens when they get a kill, and all these different scenarios. It seems really freaking powerful, dude. And it seems like if you have a game mode in your mind, or if you even want to set up like some kind of objectives and things like that, it kind of makes it potentially possible, right? So I think this is going to be a bigger deal than a lot of people are giving it credit for right now.
It really brought me back to Halo CE mod days on PC, because back in the day, I would mod it and get like the Warthog chain gun on the back to shoot plasma grenades that would blow up. So I'm just excited for all that fun stuff you can do with weapons. Like, if the energy's like, because you could make other weapons shoot other weapons projectiles. And back in the day, I had a shotgun on Halo CE that would shoot energy swords out and they would do damage. So I'm just wondering if we can shoot energy swords out that actually do damage, or if it's just going to be like a weapon that falls on the floor. That's kind of, I want to see what the actual limit is.
Like, get stuck in somebody, that would be crazy. I don't know if they'll be able to do that. Fuzzy, I know you're usually into like tactical shooters and stuff like that, more or so, right? But like, I almost feel like with this game, you could create like a really hardcore ODST style like tactical shooter out of this. Is that something that would intrigue you?
Oh yeah, I'm actually going to try to see if I can recreate like one of the Insurgency Sandstorm maps in this, just to see like how deep the rabbit hole can be as far as creating different like game modes and things like that. Like I I I think based on like a lot of the stuff we've seen so far, you can make just about any type of map, almost recreate other maps from other games if you have the time, and then try to do like a like I want to have it where it's like three objectives. You go to it, you clear out whatever bots are there, hold and defend, protect against waves, and then move to the next objective type of thing.
Yeah.
So
The,
I all of the scripting stuff that they've shown so far, it looks like, I mean, it's going to take me a while to kind of get used to figuring it out, but I'm so excited to see if I can get actually make it. I'll start off with just the three objectives, and then see if I can make it up to 7 or something like that. But still,
I
it's just looks
I can
awesome.
see how that's gonna work. So like what you do is you start the map with like say like if you just want to do it like by yourself or whatever, it would be this is gonna be even nicer when you get the DMR. You get the DMR,
Mhm.
lower the health to make them all one shot and you one shot.
Mhm.
And then what you do is you put like a King of the Hill zone down, and then you
Mm.
start him with like 15 bots. So it's you against 15 bots. You clear out the bots and capture the zone. Once you capture the zone, you write a script to spawn in 15 more bots, and it moves
Mhm.
the next zone. So then you go to the next zone, clear out the bots, and then just repeat that over and over until you do
Yeah.
however many objectives you want. So I could see how that's going to work. Um, theoretically, you can do that with the scripting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be
it's
interesting.
going to be freaking amazing. I guarantee you this. I think you're kind of underselling that what people not talk, or the lack of, I guess, hype around it at this point. I think it's really going to explode as far as once people have this in hand. I think
Mhm.
that's going to be the biggest thing. It's like people are already excited about seeing like some people, myself anyway, we're excited seeing the third person stuff for like Modern Warfare. I don't know if that'll even be possible for Halo, but if you could do third person, I'd like to see what that looks like as well. But just the
Yeah.
tactical, 3 to 7 objective type of thing, like you said, have it where it's like a King of the Hill deal, clear out 15, move on to the next one. Yeah, I definitely want to give that stuff a try once we have it in hand, type of deal.
It will definitely be interesting to see if there is actually camera options in that because you go into third person when you mount a turret. So
Mm-hmm.
theoretically, there should be a way to just make the camera behind you, like script it to where the camera stays behind you on the player. So
Yeah.
it should be possible. I'm not sure. Like aiming that is going to be weird, I think, but
Right.
you could probably make it third person. I just don't know how well the aiming is going to work. You
Yeah.
might just be spraying.
That's a good point because you can't. They
Hip
wouldn't be
fire
able to
only.
change the controls at
Yeah.
that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the reticle and all that stuff. Would like it'll be interesting to find out. You know what I mean? But like I think there's so much potential with this damn thing. It's like I keep having these random when I was watching the video as having like these random ideas pop in my head of like just crazy stuff you could create. Um, Starting from scratch with the object scaling is the key here because you can pretty much start with whatever surface you want. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And that alone opens the doors, for any kind of possibilities. You could have a map where you start at the top and you're sliding down the whole time because of gravity
Mhm.
and it's just the right angle, and it could be like a race to the bottom, and whoever survives could win, right? Like, and you could have all these weapons or whatever, and you could just create this long ass like fall where like if you actually make it to the bottom, you win. I don't know, just like random things keep popping in your head. You can make it you can try
Yeah,
and
it's
make it
like
look
the
like
reverse
snow or like an
trash man.
avalanche or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah, like because there was a game called like, I think it was called Trash Man on like Garbage Shoot or something where you would like try to run up a hill and the trash man would just like have a gravity hammer and like knock stuff down the ramp and you just try to run
oh,
up
I
the ramp
played
and
that
go.
mode. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's pretty fun.
Mhm.
There's also one where like you just jump and try and avoid objects that they smash at you also.
Mhm.
And the last one
Jenga.
to
Yeah.
survive wins. So I mean, there's so many damn possibilities with this, dude. It's like they took the best elements from all the different forges and put them all into one, and then took it to another level beyond that. right? So scripting is something I'm going to have to learn. You know what I mean? That's something that wasn't in any map editor that I've played with before, but it seems simple enough where you just kind of connect the dots and you just kind of create your rule set. Okay, well, this is the player. This is what happens to the player when this happens, right?
Yeah, it's just a bunch of what if statements.
Yeah, exactly. And it
It's
seems like
basic.
you just move them around,
It's
place them
basic
wherever
programming.
to make
Yeah.
it kind of like you're just, make it easy for whatever works for your mind and how you want to lay it out on the board, right? So that
I will
looks pretty
say
awesome.
the problem with like maybe Fuzzy's idea is depending on how big you want to make it,
Mhm.
you're going to run out of objects and you may not be able to get as much
Yeah.
detail as you want in there. Like,
Okay.
because they have like a limit thing where you can only put so many
It's like
objects out.
how many?
Seven.
7,000, something like that.
Yeah, but you obviously want like detail in there because you don't want everything to just look like gray walls like it did before. So
Right.
it's like you got to kind of manage that.
I'll say that like the default, I don't know how much if scripting adds to that as well at all.
Yeah, I don't know if it does or not.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
I noticed the map they were testing today was like at 99%.
Yeah.
Right. As I noticed, oh shit, that map is maxed out. But I think they were doing a lot with like scripting on there as well and stuff.
It
so
wasn't that big either. It didn't seem
No.
too big. That's where
I
was
think they
like,
went a little crazy on the objects and stuff. And I be honest with you, the map that they showed today, I wasn't really that crazy about. Not
Yeah.
like the ones we had seen in the last video. I think they just picked one that I think they felt like would be easy to show
a little more polished than
some of the scripting stuff
Yeah.
and everything like that.
Yeah.
There's also a shadow glitch that was happening in one area at the beginning of the map that didn't look that great. But overall, it was still way better than like a lot of the Forge maps you can make in the past. So I just don't think that one looked as good as the other ones I had seen.
Wait, there's an Aflac goat 3-bit? I thought it was a goose.
Wow, I didn't know that. What's going on? Ham Solo's own on Boogie, Tony Grasso, Decado, 3-bit. Hey, this is lovely wife Kaylin. Hey, baby. What's up, Ron Davis, Calorie, awesome people in the chat. RSJ fan, how's it going? Boogeyman, Shane. Yeah, I think I can't wait for it, dude. The question was asked, when does it release? RSJ asked. That isn't planned for November. We're 3 for 3 right now. Nothing is ever hard to I'm never a hard guarantee, right? The planned date is November. Was it 10th? I think.
I think they just gave a general window, like
Okay.
November 8th or something. For
Yeah.
like a certain date.
It's with the winter free
Update.
pass they're having as well. There's like a 30-tier battle pass they're having. There's 2 Forge maps launching. There's the Forge mode. There's the campaign online co-op, and some other stuff. Which, speaking of the co-op, I've been seeing more videos. Even Digital Foundry did one about glitching into the split screen, and it seems like that shit is like almost finished, like completely. The only thing that I noticed that they said they had issues with is when one player was in the map and the other player was in the world. Sometimes it created some shadowy glitch effects and stuff like that. But other than that, the achievements even worked.
Yeah, they said there was a problem with potential save corruption. Like some people were experiencing that. They were glitching into it.
Right. So you don't want to mess up your save files, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it
Didn't
just
they
seems
have it
so
where
close,
there was like
man.
a 8-person squads or something like that they had?
Yeah. If online, you can glitch as many people as you can have in a server into campaign.
Right.
Wow.
They said it worked flawlessly with 6, but when it got to 8, it
Yeah.
started having some issues, right?
They said they could do more, but they just didn't have enough people to do more with at that time.
It'd be interesting, man. I think that they didn't ever actually say it's 100% canceled. Also, they said they are moving on from that right now. So there's a potential once everything else is set and in good shape that they will revisit that. I couldn't imagine you put that much work into it and just like abandon it like that, like forever.
It's going to be one of those things like MCC where they come back 5 years later and be like, we're just going to drop this update this summer.
We told you we were going to put split screen in the game. We just didn't say when, So, yeah, it was interesting wording when Joe Staten said they're moving on from that, allocating the resources to other places. I don't know if that's a forever statement. You know what I mean? I don't believe it was a forever statement. Otherwise, he would have said canceled.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's a hard word to put out on a stream.
that is
You don't
true.
wanna
That is true. That's very true. Yeah. So, all right, let's get to this. Let's get to the meat here, guys. So the gaming industry had one of the biggest games ever fully revealed to the public.
Well, it wasn't.
Well, not fully revealed,
fully
but
revealed,
but there's
yeah.
aspects of it that were put out there that were taken and are being held hostage, right? That pretty much could have potentially a huge implication for the game and also for the industry, for us as gamers and all that kind of stuff, right? For personal gain, right? Even so much so that other people in the community, that hacking community, whatever, actually are not even fans of this also, right? Trying to call foul on this, but basically they're one of the biggest publishers, one of the biggest games ever, had a bunch of stuff stolen and leaked to the public.
Getting a
And
little loose there with you,
yeah, I
man.
know, I'm sorry, it's hard. Revealed to the public when they weren't supposed to, and also some assets that were taken also are being held that hopefully will never make it to see the light of day. We don't know 100% what's going to go on now, but the damaging things when something like this happens, it can be more than what a lot of us think. And there was an interesting thread from a game developer actually regarding this, talking about how events like this can affect the actual games because when you have stuff early on like this put out there, when it's actual stuff that matters for making the game, right? Then it compromises the potential safety of players in the future that could be playing that game also. So you potentially have to go and rework a lot of things. Now,
Well, it's also the best. It's the best time for this to come out because, like, if you look at Cyberpunk, their S-word code got stolen and leaked like right when the game launched. So that's more of a concern because like they're already gold. That game's already out. They can't change all the code now. Whereas the other studio that we're mentioning, they are early builds, so they could have already started changing some of this. Like,
who
as
knows?
they're working on it.
Yeah.
So like it's still early out where it's not too big of a concern, like I would think. But
interesting thing is those devs put out a statement today saying that that they don't plan that this is going to have a long-term effect on their development of the game, right? So that's the hopeful side of this, you know what I mean? And then what I would like to add is I think that it would be nice if somehow people got caught that did this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Do you think this could have an effect on us at all, Fuzz? Like, we're gonna have to wait longer now?
I think it could, even though they came out and said that it shouldn't. But then again, they never really gave us a solid date of when to expect the overall release of the final product. So it's kind of hard to say, but I think things like this definitely can affect us, the gamers, when we'll actually get things in hand type of deal. It could also affect down the road, potential hackers trying to, either mod or exploit stuff as far as like the online aspects of a game.
I mean, that shit already happens anyway. Like,
look at
the fifth one. Like the fifth one of this game that's been out for 10 years now. Like when their online was out, like people just were dropping cash like in game for people and ruin the economy. So it
ruined the economy, and then it would even get some of the people that weren't even trying to participate. It would get them banned and stuff. So
because they would just have like $1 million just instantly deposited in their account.
Yeah, so it definitely could be a bigger problem. But I mean, things like this, like you said, they happen almost anyway. Like once the game is released, you'll have people that are going to dive into code or stuff like that, and kind of pick things apart and try to come up with exploits or workarounds. So I'm pretty sure this particular dev is kind of used to having people do that to their games and whatnot. So I have a feeling that they'll be able to, if anyone can kind of get this closer to releasing on time or schedule, they'll probably be the ones to be able to do it and get everything kind of buttoned up, so that way whatever potential problems would have been can be avoided, and have a rework or some tweaks and reworks already accounted for in that product and stuff. So yeah, it sucks, but you know it seems like as of late it seems like it's becoming a more and more thing, where people are these companies are getting compromised, and we find out months later, oh, well, it was a security breach and we don't think anything important and so forth. But, I'm hoping we get this game within the next year or two. But
Oh, you're way too.
yeah, well, I was originally joking 2026 is, because there's this would be kind of a six association kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I figured 2026 anyway. So hopefully it's not too far beyond that. But even that time frame seems so far away and whatnot. But they probably want to take that amount of time anyway, to be honest.
Yeah,
just
I
to kind
already
of get things polished.
expected this game to be delayed at least twice. Like, I have a feeling they'll announce a date that when it's coming out and it'll get delayed. And they'll be like,
Mhm.
okay, this is our new date, and that's going to get delayed. I've already expected that. So it's like,
Well, if they do like kind of like the was it Gen 8 hardware, this will be like a swan song game for this generation's hardware. It'll come out just before the new stuff. So before PS6 and Xbox, Series 2X or 3S or whatever they're gonna, name it next and stuff. I think that's when that game is kind of like just before that launch.
I know that the fifth one in this series, it was delayed a couple of times. Like, it was originally
Yes.
supposed to come out in 2012 or
Yep.
20 or it came out in
I
it came
think
out in
we saw it in
2013. Yeah,
2011, and then it was
it
supposed
was
to be
supposed to be out in
2012.
2012, and then it came out in
Yeah,
2013. Yeah.
yeah. But man, oh man, at first I was one of those is like, oh, this can't be real. This has got to be
Yeah.
a mod. It looks like something that somebody modded from like the fifth one in the series, and like there's no way. And then you were like, no, there's like a ton of this stuff. There's like it's everywhere, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh wait, that's got different rendering cards than what I was expecting. And then there were even newer rendering cards. I'm like, oh yeah, this can't be old stuff. This is like within the past 2 years of development. So, but yeah, it was like surreal, I guess is about the best way to put it. Because like we've talked about before, typically this company, they everything is buttoned up. You don't hear a squeak about it until they do the squeaking type of thing. And usually any other early leaks and stuff are usually fake, where it's like, oh, it's fan made and so forth, and it looks nothing like what the final product is like. This being closer to early work, yeah, this is a whole different ball game.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be it's gonna be an interesting thing here, because what is the overall result? We don't know. We know what the developers are saying now. And if you guys are wondering why we're tiptoeing around the names, it's because they are mass like going after channels right now just by using keywords and stuff like that, and issuing strikes, right? That without any actual checking about the content that's even in those videos whatsoever. I've actually seen on Twitter, different YouTubers actually had their channels struck without ever even showing an ounce of footage or anything, just talking about it, right? So we're trying to be careful with this just to make sure, because even though we're in the right and nothing that we're doing is wrong. You just never know if some kind of stupid algorithm or bot that's looking for specific keywords is going to come after you. You know what I mean? So that's why we're tiptoeing around this. And but yeah, I would say that as far as the kind of assets that we're taking is kind of the biggest issue here, right? Um, they are very vital to what makes a game, right? Period, right? So if that gets out there to other companies, other people that are trying to utilize it for their own gain, that could be detrimental to the publisher and the developers themselves as well. But here's the thing: I think in this situation, this perpetrator may have bitten off more than they can
Just
chew.
no gooder.
This no gooder may have bitten off more than they can chew here because there's rumors that it's a younger guy, right? And maybe a little naive with some stuff. And I within the community that they're a part of, it's like, okay, I don't think they mind when you go after some things, you know what I mean? But when you go after something that they're looking forward to themselves, they don't necessarily tolerate that as well. So
Also,
I
the amount that was taken.
yeah, exactly. And it's not like just information was shared or details. Like you're talking about actual important vital assets, right? So it seems like with this situation, there's a lot of things that could lead this person to get caught. There's some I've seen like what RSJ was talking about. Uh, Somebody in the UK has been arrested and also apologized. I think that's was actually talking about another story back with the rumor of who this person is. Uh, had been previously arrested in the UK, um, but released. And they had to basically acquired like millions of dollars from doing
Yeah,
this
it's
kind of activity.
believed that this person was found out due to a social media account.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think there's a good chance that this could actually um, lead to somebody getting caught. And but we'll see. I mean, until there's more news on that, I don't think they're going to share anything. But the positive thing was Rockstar's message today. Damn it, I said the name. Damn it, I said the name. Was the positive thing? The positive
The
thing.
energy drink is so good.
It is. Don't you love those
Yeah.
energy drinks? Like those messages on the cans. Rockstar energy drinks. Go get you one, guys.
Dude, you maybe just say energy drinks now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the energy drinks are great. The message that was put out there by the development team, right, was very promising. I think overall, I think that it's going to potentially, it makes it assured to us, the gamer, that the impact on us is going to be little, and I think that impact on them right now is probably high, at least with like cost of like, okay, then now they're going to have to deal with lawyers and go after all these things, and they're like right now already having to go after all these videos and all this content out there. That's already an undertaking in and of itself. You know what I mean? So, um, we'll know the ramifications of this years from now. Uh, but will we? I don't know. Will we? I mean, do you think this is going to be an event in history? Do you remember when that happened? You know?
I mean, maybe because there's like that. There's No Clip, that channel. He does like documentaries on video games and stuff. He's like covered like The Witcher and stuff. So like you maybe see it like 10 years from now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, maybe. There's other
Depends on
interesting.
if it continues to happen. Like if
Yeah.
there's like another big game down the road
Mhm.
that gets this kind of compromise, then it may not get that. Well, it'll be in a series of documentaries, but I think it will be kind of forgotten because the other one will probably be more prominent on our minds. But if they make an example of this perpetrator or make an example of how and why not to do this, and it kind of puts the fear in potential
Yeah.
future people doing the same, I think
Oh yeah,
this will be kind of
lifetime
like that.
sentence.
well, the easiest way to like, I mean, you can correct this guy's mistakes and still make profit off of it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
this child made a stupid mistake and
Mhm.
was apprehended that way. So
Yeah.
Right. Lifetime sentence. No leniency. Don't mess with my video games. You know what I mean?
No, no. You just restrict them to no electronics, just sticks, rocks, and
Yeah.
pencils. You know.
But what about homework? We use Chromebooks now. No, not you. You know, you got to do it with the lead pencil.
You got a
Good
notepad
old number 2. All right. So also, besides the biggest thing that happened, there's also some other things in the same category now that we can talk about, because there was actually a YouTuber today that got caught for putting out
Posing?
posing. He had
mean.
he had the Twitter account called The Real Insider, right? That had started catching on, and guess what? People found out who it was. And Jason Schreier actually went after him, which is just funny as hell to me. Talking about somebody that got petty a little bit. However, I mean, I'm glad the person got caught, because you know what I mean? When you sign something and something saying, hey, you're going to be given access to this information, that's like a privileged early access thing that as a YouTuber or a content creator, you know, you get to see this stuff, right? And you're like, oh, you give feedback on it and in preparation. And they're trying to help you also, like, you know, you get preparation of being able to have content ready like instantly, right? When you're able to talk about it, right? And for somebody to go and break that is just it's only for clout, right? It's only
That's
for
why
like
you
followers
never
on
try
Twitter.
to profit off something that you know is wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know, should I say who it is? I mean, is that okay? I mean, is it wrong to say
I
who
don't
it
know.
is?
I
I
don't
don't think it's Dan
You can just look it
Allen.
up.
Yeah, Dan Allen Gaming is the name of the YouTuber that was caught and revealed to be posing as the real insider. I had never heard of this YouTuber before. Honestly, I don't really watch too much YouTube personally, which is crazy. I know we have a YouTube channel and stuff. But there's so many big time creators out there that have no clue who they
I mean, there's
are.
people with millions of subs I've never heard of. So
Yeah, exactly. I had never heard of this person before today. Apparently they had a good following and they had a pretty big channel, and they were caught as making this other account and revealing information for games like Ubisoft's games like Assassin's Creed Mirage, Assassin's Creed Hex, those project names that were out there. They were the leakers that put a lot of that stuff out there as well. And he admitted to it. Once it got revealed, he made a mistake, I believe, originally on Twitter, and was like, said something and forgot to switch accounts. This is not the first time that's happened. This usually happens with the people that are catfishing out there. Like the catfishers do this, but this time, this guy had 2 accounts accidentally did it, and it was called out by Jason Schreier, and Jason Schreier went and he said he has too much time at 3 a.m. in the morning, I guess.
or
So
something like that.
it's
Yeah.
something like that. He went and dug a lot of information out and like put 2 and 2 together and was like showed all these examples and stuff coming after this guy. But the funny thing is why did Jason Schreier do it? He said he was cool with it. He didn't care, except for this guy called Jason Schreier out for being wrong once. that is, if you actually read the thread on Jason Schreier's thing, he actually says that, which is complete like asinine bullshit to me too. Like, now granted, like Schreier and some of these leakers out there don't share stuff they've signed NDAs for and embargoes and stuff like that, but they do still leak things, you know what I mean? And he didn't care at all. But what was funny was when Jason Schreier said, no, that's not factual information, to the real insider. And the real insider said, just wait. And it turned out that Jason Schreier was wrong. Jason Schreier held that in, and he was so angry that when he had the opportunity to reveal who this guy was, he took full advantage of it. And now this guy's got caught, which I'm glad. Again, you know what I mean? Like, it's wrong to do that.
Is Jason Schreier just like Jim Ryan in disguise? Like, he's the biggest crybaby I've ever seen.
I think he is.
It might be related.
Yeah. It's just funny if you actually read this thread, man. It's like, oh my god, wonder if I could find it again. I think it was shared everywhere today in our DMs. But overall, Dan Allen from Dan Allen Gaming said, "I'm sorry to everyone for my actions. I'm ashamed and disappointed in myself. I'll be taking some time to reflect on my poor decisions, which will never occur again. To everyone that has supported me over the years, I'm truly sorry I let you down, Dan." Which pretty much equates to, I'm sorry that I got caught.
Exactly.
Like, if he didn't get caught, you think there was ever going to be a stop to this? I mean,
Nah.
no. And there's a reason he was doing it in the first place, right? He wanted that clout. He wanted that attention. He wanted to be one of those famous insiders out there, you know. And guess what? You know, it's betraying the trust of people in the industry is pretty bad. Psycho said he also leaked Konami's Silent Hill and Capcom Resident Evil 4 remake. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. So this guy's no bueno. You know, now other insiders do as well. You know, there's even a new insider website that launched today from Tom Henderson. But Tom Henderson does not sign these NDAs and stuff, right? So he's also kind of choosy on what he reveals, it seems like. But he also did have another scoop today. But overall, what are y'all's thoughts on like somebody like the real insider in accounts like that? And if they're like these YouTubers that sign NDAs, you think that's pretty bad, or
It's tough because I've had to deal with NDAs in the automotive industry, and some stuff gets leaked. You wind up being the one that leaks some of the stuff, but it's like, okay, you leak it with a coworker that might not be in that particular circle or in that particular meeting group as far as for an upcoming product or something like that. Usually you kind of know who you can talk to and trust to not spread it and kind of get yourself fired or busted
yeah,
type of deal. But as long as it's not something where you're trying to like gain position or gain favor. Like, I mean, you can. I've exchanged info for favors from other companies and things like that. So it's like, okay, yeah, we're working on this product. So what's the deal with this thing I'm hearing that you're making? Are you making a competing product, or are you guys finally coming to market with this thing? And you'll do that on occasion, but it's not like you're publicizing it on social media. Hey, these guys over here are making this, and it's going to break the industry because it's going to be half the cost and half the price. And no, as long as you're not doing it for clout and you know how to keep things contained, like, okay, you might tell your spouse or you might tell your best friends or something along those lines. But if once you're like, hey, public forum, I'm on the podium telling all the business that you signed, that you said and swore that you wouldn't, or you could face lawsuits or other legal repercussions, yeah, that's when it's not cool. But I kind of understand why some of these people do it, but I it's just one of those things. I would rather not worry about having to look over my shoulder, worrying about losing my job, or going to court where some of these big companies are like, hey, you know what? Part of that NDA was if you did leak any of this info, it could cost us millions of dollars. So you're going to be in court for our losses of millions of dollars, and most judges are going to probably favor or side with us, or even if they don't, we'll just waste your time and your money because we already have lawyers on retainer and you probably don't. We'll pretty much bankrupt you. So yeah, it's a bad thing when you're doing it for clout. If it's like, hey, you're going to tell maybe a friend or two that is not going to spread it beyond that circle, I don't see too much of a problem. But this guy just went overboard and he kind of let it go to his head, I think.
yeah.
I mean,
Seems
I
like
think it's like if it's leaks, kind of like what he was putting out, that's actually accurate and stuff. I actually don't mind it too much because, like, to me, like, it's just my personality. Like, I want the leaks. Like, it hypes me up for the next game. It's like, oh, this game's
Mhm.
coming out potentially and stuff. But like, that's just like as a consumer, obviously. But like, if
Yeah.
you talk about it through like companies aspect wise, yeah, it's not great. But as a consumer, for me, I'm just like, give me all the knowledge. I want all of it. I want to hear all about it as soon as I can. Because like, when this other information came out that we can't say, I was like digging into it, like trying to find everything I can. Like, that's what gets. It's like I want to know everything, So it's like
Yeah.
yeah.
it's kind of hard.
I'm kind of with you on that as well from the consumer standpoint. It's just It's like now, like for video games, I don't have any dog in the fight in the industry, so it's like, yeah, oh yeah, I want that info. But like with the automotive stuff, it was like, ooh, I got a mortgage. I don't want to have to tell my wife they let me go because I ruined their launch for the whole product line next year type of deal. So it's
Yeah.
like those are like the dueling thoughts in mind. But from a video game standpoint, yeah, I'm kind of one of those as well that yeah, give me the info. I'll dig into it or be hyped about it or possibly be like, oh, maybe I can pass on it. It's not exactly
Yeah.
what I thought it was going to be kind of thing. So,
Mhm. Yeah. It was very interesting. I want to get back into some of the stuff that actually happened with this. This is actually a very entertaining thread to read, right?
There's do you see all the images with the Discord stuff? Like I don't know if it's in that thread or not, but
Um, yes.
okay.
So I'm going to read Schreier's stuff. He said, well, if this is legit and looking through both accounts, they sure seem to tweet about the same games around the same time. It would explain how this real insider knew the AC code names. He broke the
With
embargo
that though,
himself.
I will
Right.
say Jason Schreier's screenshots, he kept cutting off the fucking time and date on like the
Mhm.
bottom tweet, so you couldn't tell if it matched up on a lot of them. It's like
Yeah.
if you're saying that, then why'd you cut off the bottom date? It's like
Yeah. Maybe there's something there he wanted to try and protect himself on, potentially. Um, what I wanted to find was his comment that I found absolutely hilarious. Oh, geez. Okay, he said also that they have very similar writing, even capitalizations, right? Um, he said he tweeted the list of his AC names based on the press YouTuber pre-briefing. He didn't see the press YouTuber pre-briefing. He didn't because Jason says he doesn't break embargoes, so I thought it was fake because AC Hex is internally known as AC Neo. He tweeted out that it was fake, and he responded to tell him that I should apologize when I turned out to be wrong. He said, I checked in with some sources, and yep, it turned out I was wrong because Neo is going by Hex externally. So I said, my bad, you're right, my apologies. Wouldn't have been a problem at all if not for this. And then he posted a shot of the insiders giving all those code names again. And like, so basically the whole reason that this got exposed to the extent that it did was because Jason was petty for being called out for being wrong, which is like the most hilarious thing to me, actually. Over out of everything here, like I'm glad the guy got caught and everything, but it's just like hilarious that like the pettiness of this dude right here, because he says, so he went in and like really dug deep on this guy. And he says the lesson here is don't fuck with a sleep deprived dad with a lot of time to look at his phone.
honestly, I'm more of a fuck Jason at that point. Like the insider, I
yeah.
would rather him keep going and say fuck Jason.
Like it was just absolutely hilarious to me. I saw that and I'm like, what? Like this got revealed and it dug deep and revealed by Schreier because he got petty at being called out for being wrong at some
that guy's
point.
strike just got lifted.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. All right. Hey, GTA was the game we're talking about.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah. So it's interesting what goes on here. And you got to look at like a lot of this has to do with clout and like, oh, proving who's right and who's wrong, who's the better insider and all of this kind of stuff. Right. And the end effect really for us was kind of the same, right, as consumers and stuff, because we didn't really this stuff had been revealed several times by different insiders with the Assassin's Creed stuff. He just may have been the first one, you know what I mean? And it was revealed by Henderson. It was revealed by I think even Schreier commented on it as well and stuff. And like, it's just kind of interesting because they didn't sign those embargoes and NDAs that they get away with it. You know what I mean? Because they're still privy to information.
We also
So
know Jason wants to be the one that gets the headline out of it. He wants to be the first
right.
one to post it. And with the insider, that's his competition. He's like, fuck that dude. I'm not the one getting the attention if that guy's putting that.
Exactly. That's how it comes across to me. And I'm not saying that like we need to be on this guy's side or whatever. You know what I mean? He fucked up. You know, he's a YouTuber that was privy to information and he fucked over himself. He fucked over his channel. You know what I mean? Who knows what's going to happen now to his channel? Who knows what's going to happen to him? Like he could face potential lawsuits and stuff like this over this. Like, who knows exactly, right? So like, it's just a dumbass decision in the first place. The fact that some of these like insiders that don't sign these NDAs and embargoes get away with it, like as well, is kind of weird. I don't necessarily mind it at all. I don't mind it at all, but I found it hilarious that the pettiness that went back and forth between those two to cause a situation, right? It's gonna be interesting because next on Thursday on PM and the PM we're gonna have Jez on, and so Pong and I are gonna ask him kind of like what the differences here, like between some of the stuff that like him or like Tom Henderson does, or like other people like Schreier and other people in the industry, right? Because they grub, because they give hints, they kind of know what they can kind of release and get away with without like causing big problems, and they don't like
Mhm.
divulge too much huge stuff, right? But then at the same, when things like this happen, it's like that guy's like canceled, right? You know what I mean? So I'm really curious about um how that works, you know what I mean, and what when it comes to what it is it chosen to be able to be revealed and stuff to the public,
I think it depends on like if you're going to endanger your source. Like I think
Yeah.
that's kind of all it depends on. Like if you know that only one
Yeah.
person knows this, like it's obviously going to get traced back to him. So it's like I think
Right.
it's just about protecting your information.
Yeah.
So
And
Yeah.
there's different kinds of leaks too. There's ones that
yeah,
come from like, hey, people were data mining, right? Like as Calorie
Mhm.
says in the chat, there's people that like leak. There's documents that got out there that shouldn't have been put out there, right? Then there's other ones that were like, somebody that did break the embargoes or NDAs actually put the information out there and sent it to them, right? And to a bunch of people. And it's like at some point somebody's gonna run with it. You know what I mean? So and that's kind of the difference here. Whereas like
it's
you're just kind of
also
cutting off the source of something that should have never been out there in the first place.
it's also hard because like someone could say like they work at Microsoft and to be like, oh, yeah, Halo 6 is in development, but like you have no way of like really verifying that. So you want like another dude at the same
Yeah.
time to say, yeah, Halo 6 is in development.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
so it's like you want reliable leaks and also like you want to protect the sources. So it's kind of like hard to
Right. I mean,
just put random shit out there.
we know people, if we want to strap them to a chair, we could try and get information out of, right? And they're like, it would be wrong to do so. You know what I mean? Like, people that are in the industry or people that are working on games, right? That know things, you know what I mean? And they can't say too much, right? Because
Mhm.
if they say too much, they risk their career, they risk their jobs, they risk everything. And, they're pretty tight-lipped, and the whole industry is very tight-lipped, you know? I just personally, as like somebody who's been trying to work on this channel for 2 years, and we've grown to the point where we are now, and I hope we can keep growing over the next several years. I couldn't imagine putting that all on the line just to have a Twitter account where I look cool for releasing information. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it just seems like so like
The
it's
only
like
way you could
shameful, maybe. I don't know.
the only way you could probably do it in like good faith type of deal is kind of pose it as like it would be cool if we saw this type of thing. So
Yeah.
you already know that they're working on this, and then you already have the gaming community that's like, hey, we would love to see this feature, we would love to see that feature, and you have either this other account drop hints, or you do it on your primary, but make sure you word it and phrase it in a way it's like, after all these years of, playing Halo and whatnot, it'd be awesome if they had like a full-on forge. Like, this is before like all the stuff we've seen now, but like it'd be so cool if they gave us like the director tools, almost like if we had like a mod menu like what you have on PC, and have that for Forge for console, and kind of start the conversation that way, where you might eh, you might get some funny looks, and that some of your sources might tighten up a little bit, but it's like you're not completely unveiling it, but you do build some of the excitement or hype for a potential upcoming thing without necessarily spoiling it, because now it seems it's more like the community thought of that idea, or they're discussing, hey, it would be cool to add this feature or something along those lines, or hey, it would be cool to see this type of game where it's like, oh, it's a third person, like side story of, another Halo character or something, even though it's, it's already in the works. But, putting that out there,
I think
it would get things or people talking about it in a way where it's not spoiling that it's actually in development.
I think the main difference that like what Tom and like the insider and stuff does is like Tom makes sure like his shit's kind of like verified. Like
Hmm.
that's like everyone trusts Tom's stuff because he's always right. Because he always like double checks his stuff. He wants to make sure it's right because he knows the second he puts out one bad piece of information, he's going to get questioned on everything.
Yeah.
So like, it's just about making sure you actually put out good shit.
Yeah.
Right. And so here's the thing too. Like if you were to come across something that is like fucked up towards consumers or something like that too, you know what I
EA
mean?
buying Amazon or what? Or EA been getting bought by Amazon and
Or
make people lose all their money.
or it's just like I mean something more specifically like, oh, you found out a company is trying to do really something shitty to the consumer or something like that, right? Or like
PlayStation.
Yeah, raise price and cut costs.
Yeah. Then I don't mind that as well. You know what I mean? If we get into speaking of PlayStation, we have
It's called whistleblowing.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
exactly, whistleblowing. Yeah, we have a new website that popped up. Not us. Yeah, we have a new web. No, we don't have a new website. Tom Henderson has a new website, and it's called Insider Gaming, right?
Because Inside Gaming's already a thing.
Right. So Insider Gaming, and they kind of broke. Remember, they had the hugest scoop ever, right? I don't know if this is the hugest scoop ever, but it's a pretty big scoop. They did reveal today, Tom Henderson, that Sony is to launch a new PlayStation 5 with a detachable disc drive in next year, and potentially next September, right? That sounds just freaking weird to me. Like, so it could be like, the one aspect of this was like it was same internals again, pretty much.
Yeah, it's
so like maybe a slim version.
This is PlayStation trying to switch people over to digital because like next generation, you're probably not gonna have a disc drive. So what they're doing now is they're only going to include a disc drive for people that have physical games already bought or are going to continue buying those, but like they're just trying to slowly phase out disc, and this is their way of doing that. It saves them money, and that's kind of the whole point of it.
Yeah. I think you're spot on. The fact that both companies actually came out with a digital console this go around, like I've been saying this for a while, since PCs have gone pretty much fully digital with the exception of like some limited runs or collector edition things, and even a lot of those are just codes in a box. The consoles want to go this route, and this was like the the stake in the ground.
They can't just say we're doing no more disc drives because then that'd piss so many people off. So
exactly.
They got to have some kind of way of getting around it.
Yeah, wean them off of it with offering both, and then the next step is to just make one where it's like an add-on, and then the third step is to make it only where there's digital only. It's like, sorry, but at that point they've already, I think news came out not too long ago that like over 60% on, or
I think it was
even
80, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was probably more.
It was like 80%. Right. Yeah,
80% are already digital. So it's like at this point, it's the same people that buy vinyl. Well, I won't say the same people that buy vinyl, but it's like if you're buying your music on vinyl versus digital, it's kind of becoming that with games as well. It's only the collectors. Well, I won't say it's only the collectors, but it's eventually going to be only the collectors that are buying the physical copies. And stuff.
Well, I mean, if it all goes digital, there won't be any collectors anymore, and that's like the death of GameStop right there. Next generation, if everything's digital, GameStop's dead. So make sure you go and visit GameStop in the next 5 years.
They're the best place to buy Funko Pops now, man. They got all the Funko Pops. They got all this cool stuff. It's like going to Hot Topic.
Toy store.
Well, the only thing that they can really do at this point is sell the hardware as far as the consoles, unless then once streaming comes, then they're completely gone. But I had joked about this a while ago, and I guess they did buy a studio or two, but they should have kind of saw the writing on the wall and acquired, like while Microsoft and all these others are acquiring studios, acquire a couple of quality studios, so that way they at least can kind of control their own destiny. So that way, they can still produce games and make a profit, probably more of a profit since it would be their own studio on those particular games type of deal. And, go from there. But
I mean, also the PlayStation 5 kind of, it was kind of rumored that they might only have a discless version to start, and they kind of just threw the other one on the inside, right? It's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they had
Um,
already punished GameStop prior with the tail end of the PS4 generation by taking away all the digital code games. Even like you can't buy digital code games like you used to at Best Buy or GameStop, like you can for Xbox. You can only buy the card for like dollar values and then use that in the store type of thing.
yeah. It's interesting today. Also going along with this, like Xbox has new DRM for like disc-based
Yeah.
games, right? So if you have like a game that you bought on disc, supposedly they're doing less checking, like for the license for that, with internet checks. So that's a new update now, as well as also potentially in the future single player based digital games could potentially also how I took it is two of the main things that have been a complaint, right? Single player games and disc based games, right? And it seems like they're trying to lighten up the DRM on their side with the recent updates. So that's the thing. I actually just had written an article about that today as well. So, but it takes me back to 2013 when all this DRM talk was going on to begin with, right? And Xbox kind of had a solution that seemed to be kind of future proof for a good bridging of the gap between physical and digital. But nobody really was down for that, and because of the online checks and stuff, which turned out to be something that happened anyway. But this would have allowed you to be able to exchange disc and you transfer the licenses as well, but not have to actually insert the disc into your boxes, right? So you would put the disc in, it would install the game, you would be able to take your disc out, and then still be able to at some point just like you leave it on a shelf, you can play your games like they're digital games, and then if you ever wanted to trade it in, you could. There was just going to be a fee applied for them to like transfer that license, right? And that was how the plan had worked, and they kind of had retailers in mind for that to try and protect the retailers and the digital future of gaming, and be able to have like this transfer of like being able to have licenses sold through the actual retailers and stuff, right? And that got shut down big time by the community because, oh, what about people that are in the military? What about people that don't have good internet connections and all these things and stuff? Which I admit there's something to that, but at the same time I was thinking like, we're moving into the future now with all this different tech, and this is where things were going, and I could imagine like the evolution of Xbox to 2022 from 2013. I wonder if those systems had been put in place back then, what it would look like today, right?
well, I kind of wonder, like, with like, it was at the beginning this year or maybe late last year where there was that server problem that like caused the DRM
Right.
check to like mess up. Like, I kind of wonder if that's still going to happen. Like, is it still possible for the server to fuck up and
I think
flag these
that's
issues?
part of the reason they're doing this is to make it less of an issue on like disc-based
Yeah.
games and games like that, right? And I think that's kind of one of the things that prompted them, because that was bullshit the last time for a lot of people when they're like, guys, like I'm sitting here, I have my damn disc, And the thing is, like, it was mainly affecting people on back compat games, right? Because they have to have a constant check
And
on
that's the thing
those.
they didn't fix.
And that's the thing they didn't fix, right? The 360 games, original Xbox games, those are still going to have that check. But in any game originally, you still got to have the initial check when you put it in. So if you put it in and you're offline, like it's not going to work in the future if you're, you know what I mean? So, especially on games where you have to, most of the game disc now is like only a portion of the game, right? They don't hold the full copies of the game. Imagine Call of Duty, you buy that physical, that
Well,
shit's
you
not
need
on
4
that disc.
discs.
Right, exactly. You're like exchanging disc per like map, for Call of Duty.
Please insert disc 2.
Please insert multiplayer disc.
Running across the Warzone map, you get halfway across. You
Yeah.
need disc 3 to go in this build.
Please insert the HD compatibility pack disc now to install assets. Yeah. So
you enter the building, everything goes blank until you Put the disc in.
Speaking of Call of Duty, hey, we earlier we got a $10 super chat from TK Chillin. Shout out to TK Chillin. Says, I guess I'll play the beta for Modern Warfare 2 mostly because I've been bitching about how much I hate Warzone, even though I cringe at doing a pre-order. Yeah, I don't ever pre-order anything. Like I just don't it's like 2 days ahead of time and I want to pre-install it.
Yeah.
Like people like months ahead of time, like I never pre-order anything. I don't really know the point personally, like, but I understand a lot of people do. But yeah, I'm gonna be looking forward to playing that too. But it's really interesting with all this stuff. And now one thing with the PS5, because that's what we're originally talking about, is I think this is gonna be like a slim version, right? Because when we saw the breakdown, I think it was like Austin Evans and them did a breakdown where they took it apart. Man, the insides of that thing are like so small now.
They cut off the top third of the motherboard.
Yeah, it's like this huge shell with like this little bitty inside now, right? And they said that at the time that they feel like they may be preparing for the slim, right? And so that would make sense if there's another iteration coming next year. This could be a slim model. So, and then what they also said was that potentially this disk drive is going to look like it fits there. It's not just going to be like some weird like loose fucking thing. I made a joke on Twitter, say, like with the Sony Discman, you just plug in an old Sony Discman to it, you know what I mean, and it use that. But I think that it's probably going to be something that attaches with the USB-C, and then it'll sit there and kind of like fit into like a groove or something on the system.
I think like, you know how the PlayStation 5 has like those little like the flaps that kind of come up slightly over like the middle of it on the sides, the side panels, they're like little flaps. It's going to probably hook into the top one of those. So if you want to stand it up or lay it down, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And then it's going to plug into the back. So it has two secure points. And then it will maybe be like curved. So it like kind of contours to the shape of the PlayStation 5 or something.
The interesting thing with this, because the side effect from this would be the default price of the PlayStation 5 could be less. Right?
It would be $500 now because they already have
exactly.
Well, they have the PS5 digital, right? So what if the PS5 this PS5 digital slim takes over as the primary console, and there's another option to buy one that includes the disc drive, but then they just also sell the disc drive separately. That would primarily make me think that instead of the unicorn of the PS5 digital we have now for $400, this PS5 slim could be also at $400 and be the more available, right? With an added disc drive option for like $100. Right?
If they charge $100 for a fucking disc drive in 2022, that's a scam.
That's what they're charging now for the disc drive.
Well, kind of. Like I still believe it's a loss leader with the PS5 digital, where they only made like a third, not even a third, like a tenth of the consoles made or that digital version. But I think with that redesign, I don't think it's 400. I look at what they're doing now. I mean, outside the US, they're cutting costs already and raising the price. So I think this new digital version is either 450 right out of the gate, or it's 500 out the gate.
Or they do 500 in the UK and 450 in the US. And in the UK, it's back to the original price.
Maybe they'll do like a bundle option where if like you don't want the disc, well, if they do the bundle thing, then that's just fucking defeats the purpose. I don't know, like 450 for no disc drive, and then like 500 if you want the extra detachable disc drive or something.
Yeah. So this is what the information is right now. So it says sources familiar with Sony's plans have shared details under the condition of anonymity, outlining. It's a hard word for me. Outlining the next iteration of the PS5, it's been suggested that this new console, this is rumor, everybody, so take this with a grain of salt, right? It has been suggested that this new console will completely replace the A, B, and C chassis that have been in production since the launch of the console. The console, currently named the D chassis, PlayStation 5, will have almost identical hardware to the existing consoles already on the market. When they say hardware, I'm thinking internals.
Yeah. That's what that means.
So the most surprising new feature this is he actually, hey, typo on your new website, Insider Gaming. The most surprising, I'm going to read this word for word. The most surprising new feature of the new PS5 though, is that the console, it's like I wrote this. is that the console will have a detachable disk drive. The detachable disk drive will be connected to the PlayStation 5 using an extra USB-C port on the back of the console. So that's why they're going to get away from charging you more. The extra $100 is going to be the USB-C port. It's understood that the new PS5 console will be sold on its own or in a bundle with the detachable disk drive. It's also understood that the disk drives can also be purchased separately. So if it gets busted, there's no need to buy an entirely new console. They kind of like what they're doing with their controllers. Hey, if we're not guaranteeing that this shit's gonna work for forever as an entire unit. So instead of warranting the unit as a whole, if this thing fucks up, it's gonna be a lot cheaper for you to replace. That way we don't have to have as good customer service. Sources have implied that although the new detachable disk drive is portable, that's where I got the Discman joke from. It will not ruin the aesthetics of the console when it'll attach to it without looking external. Presumably meaning the new PlayStation 5 will look similar to the existing model. So that's what I don't get.
Does the PlayStation 5 have a USB-C port on it now?
Has wait, it has just,
USB
one.
3s.
It has a USB-C on the front.
Yeah, on the
Okay,
front.
because I was going to think, like, where are they going to plug in their VR? Because if they don't use USB-C for their VR, they're fucked up.
Yeah, I think it's a new USB-C on the back. Right.
Say, are they going to make a fucking dumb mistake where if you buy a PlayStation VR game, you can't fucking play it in the new one because you got to plug it in? It's like,
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a different like look to the PlayStation because like I can't foresee plugging in the back and then it fitting right with the existing models of the digital at all. Because the way they have it now, it's kind of integrated with the shell and all that kind of stuff, right?
yeah,
So
it'll probably just look like the digital, but like make the external hard drive kind of look like
I think it's
the big one now.
I think it's going to look completely different personally.
I think it's just going to look like a tiny one.
Yeah. He said, however, the new detachable disk drive could entail that the new iteration of the PS5 will be slimmer and lighter, which is something Sony has been trying to implement effectively with its latest PS5 models. So it's understood that Sony is anticipating producing 18.5 million units of the new PS5 console in fiscal year 2023, and only 12 million units of the A to C chassis consoles as they begin to be phased out. So that looks like I'm thinking slims, guys. You know, slims, optional disc drive, PS5 next year. Rumor is anyway. So is that something you would be inclined to switch out your PS5 for, Fuzz?
I don't know. It depends on what it looks like. I mean, if it's got to be smaller, and it can't look like another fountain or air purifier or something along those lines. Like it's got to look like a console. Like this, I don't like the look of this one, even though I changed out the panels to the panels in black. But yeah, as long as it looks decent, I'll figure out a way to maybe either trade up or sell my current one for at least market price, and then put that towards the next one. But it depends on its looks, because this current one is just funny looking.
You don't want to change your device too much. You want it to all like look cohesive. So if they just like completely redesign the look of it, it's gonna confuse a lot of people. They're gonna be like, "Is this like a Wii U situation?" So it's like,
is this the PS6?
Yeah. So instead of it being like a fucking 18-foot tall console, now it's gonna be like 7 feet tall. Like,
oh my god, they're trying to make it more appealing to Japan and stuff as well, probably because their sales have gone down a little bit there, what they're used to getting in those.
They also raise the price.
That's true.
Yeah,
maybe this will help that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really understand everything that they're doing lately. With their business decisions. However, I do think the consoles needed a redesign ever since it's launched, because it's ugly as fuck. And this will hopefully help that. And it seems like when they keep getting rid of the insides of it, like there's extra space now that they can utilize to make ones that's smaller. People are talking about the PSVR 2. Yeah, I think the PSVR 2 will be usable on both versions of the PS5. I don't think they're going to get that crazy. But also that the rumors are that the PSVR 2 will be north of $600. Supposedly,
I don't-
Shane said Special Nick seems to have a guy with knowledge that said likely 650 to 700. If that happens, that's absolutely crazy. But we'll
I'm
see.
saying
I don't know.
500.
I think it's 500. If it's north of 500, it better out of the box be PC compatible with no modifications, with no driver updates. Like it better work if I hook it to my PC right out of the box. I think the PSVR 1, you could kind of make it work for some stuff, but if they're going to try and play big boy games with that VR and be 600 and some odd dollars, it better be PC ready out the gate. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
It's not even wireless. It's a fucking wired headset. It's like,
Yeah.
Well, speaking of PlayStation, we have some more breaking news here. Actually, it's very interesting. This is from Wario64. Shout out to Psychonauts for sharing this in our DMs and everything right now. Do y'all know Sean Layden? Good old Sean from the PS4 days. A lot of us big fans of Sean there at the PlayStation. Update, he says, I'm delighted to share that I've recently joined Tencent Games as a strategic advisor. In this new role, I hope to advise, assist, and support the team at Tencent as they deepen their activities and commitments within the industry to which I've devoted the majority of my career. We are at an epoch-defining moment in gaming and interactive entertainment. There are many possible roads ahead, but only a few are profound, broadening, inclusive, edifying, I don't even know what that word means, inspiring, and or sustainable. I am thrilled to continue this journey of discovery and thank Tencent for the opportunity. So is he the one that said that he didn't think Game Pass was sustainable? Or
yes,
okay. So that's interesting that he used those words. He said there are many possible roads, but only a few are profound, broadening, inclusive, edifying, inspiring, and or sustainable. So I don't know. Is he throwing shade at Xbox there and Game Pass? Is he trying to align Tencent with Sony potentially? Former Sony alum. Interesting information there.
What's weird
Sean
though
Layden
is
and Tencent.
it's a Chinese and Japanese company, and those
Yeah.
don't really
They
work.
don't get along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, Tencent is all about investing in studios, and if Sony is hurting for money in some instances or wouldn't mind some partnerships, I think they might swallow some of their pride for a sugar daddy or something like that to kind of help them out in some regards. But
They did
yeah,
just go. They both went in on FromSoft like last month or whatever. So that's kind of
yeah. So it could be a
I just
strategic
don't
partnership thing, but that's weird.
Yeah, I just don't. I see them talking, but that's about it. They're not gonna like Tencent's not buying Sony. That's not happening.
Nah,
But
I don't think they have enough money to do that.
Interesting.
I mean, I know they're fairly large, but still.
Interesting thing here though is we just saw Tencent make another big purchase within the Ubisoft family, the Wize Guillermo family. They acquired shares of their company, so they own 49% of. They're Tencent is pretty much an extra Guillermo brother at this point, and they've expanded their family, and it's no longer just them now. Although they have all of the votes, Tencent is now involved with that, even though they only own 30-something%, I think, of Ubisoft at the end of the day total, the Guillermo family, but they still have majority, right? So it's interesting what's going on there. So I wanted to share this also because Boogie, shout out to Boogie Man, he just shared this. He said, so I haven't watched this video, so I don't know like if this is where this comes from, but Zaslav, the WB Discovery guy, bought WB to sell it to Universal, suggest a major report. So when we talked about potentially WB Discovery being bought to potentially sell off to the future, whatever, I guess this report is suggesting that it could be Universal. That would be interesting as well. But yeah, man, there's lots of things happening in the gaming industry as a whole right now. You got leaks out the ass. I think they need a new roof. The gaming industry needs a new roof, right? They got too many damn leaks. right? Leaks everywhere. You got companies being bought and sold and consolidating and all this crazy stuff happening. It's hard to keep up with all of this right now. And now Tencent potentially getting more invested and involved with takeovers and buying shares of larger companies. So Pong, even in the DMs, a shout out to him, said Sean turned out to be a hypocrite. Shocked. Everyone can be bought. Yeah. So
Mhm.
it's really, you see people's like true colors. So obviously, he wanted a bag. Sean did, and he took
Yeah.
one. So he'll be advising the hostile takeovers and the buying of shares that Tencent's going to be doing nowadays in the gaming industry. So that's interesting.
I kind of hope he has an axe to grind against Jim for throwing him out the front door.
You think
That
so?
could get interesting. That
I,
that could get interesting.
I kind of wonder if that's maybe why they started doing that partnership with LG for the handheld. Like maybe Sean's trying to get them more into actual hardware space so they can try to start taking over that market a little more.
Hmm.
But I
Yeah.
think the problem with that is like if Tencent makes their own console, US is going to shut that down. They're not going to let that sell here. So
Yeah.
it's like that's the hard part about that is like since it's a Chinese company, it's hard to get that into the West because there's a lot of like stuff.
Yeah.
Not to get
Well,
political with it, but
look at, was it Highway or why the one that begins with an
yeah,
H?
Huawei or
That
something.
phone,
Yeah,
yeah, that phone company. They've gone through some troubles as far as getting product over here, or some of the stuff clearing customs. So I could see Tencent possibly, partnering with LG or not LG, Logitech
yeah, that's
or
what it was.
somebody else to, put your name on the box. We'll fund it, and then we'll supply the games through the companies we own or that we're partnered with. So they could do it that way. Like, depending on that, if that thing takes off, especially considering it's going to be kind of a mobile Game Pass machine to some extent, that might be the skies that Tencent wants. And then, later on, it's like, oh, well, we have one that's a little bit cheaper that, has all of our games on there. Go from
Yeah,
there.
because they already have a Android emulator on PC. I think it's like I forgot what it's called, but I was
Yeah.
like when I was looking for a good Android emulator, I'd looked at theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Psycho brought up something important in the chat too. That's interesting. Shout out to Psycho, who's out of town right now. We miss you, buddy. Hope you're having fun there over in the states you keep traveling between. Um, but he had mentioned because when Phil Spencer and Kojima were taking pictures together, right?
Mhm.
Kojima was holding a handheld gaming device, and it looked like the one that had been revealed not too long ago that was going to be to
Yeah,
come
the
out.
Logitech Tencent.
Yeah, the Logitech one. It looks like that's what Kojima's holding, and we talked about that device a couple weeks back, I think, on the show,
Yeah.
and they that would allude to the fact of his cloud game, right? Because we know he's working on something with the cloud with Xbox as
Well, I
well.
mean, not necessarily, kind of, but like it's just a cloud streaming device for games. Doesn't necessarily have to be a
That
game
that's
designed for
that's
cloud.
that's true. That's
Yeah,
true. We assume that his game was designed for the
yeah,
cloud, but the interesting thing is that was developed between Logitech and Tencent, right? So that's the Tencent and Logitech device, right? I don't know who owns what amount of the device or who invested more or whatever. I'm sure it's gonna be Logitech branding all over it, right?
well,
Not
Logitech's
Tencent,
making it. I think Tencent's kind of doing the software and like operating stuff
right?
for it.
So it's not gonna say Tencent all over it or anything like that. However, it was interesting because it was already announced when that was revealed or whatever. I don't even know if it's officially revealed, but the leaks that had come out at least about it before that it was going to have uh Xbox X like cloud gaming was going to be a part of it, like a
Right.
focus on it, right?
Mhm.
And because the original reveal was Microsoft cloud gaming device also, right? It was like Microsoft has a part in that with the at least getting their apps on it. So with Sean Layden there and his messaging here, like, is that kind of contradict each other a little bit, saying that there's only one way of, or like some are more sustainable than others, right? When he's been critical of Game Pass in the past, where you're now part of a company that has a device that's focusing on the cloud and the gaming subscriptions
You could argue that Sean may be taking like the higher route and trying to get every subscription service into one device so he can take shares out of that, like take the 30% cut that people go into on that device.
right.
Yeah.
So maybe he's trying to like just get revenue from multiple places besides just making their own thing, you know?
Yeah. It's just
Makes
it's
sense,
just
'cause
interesting.
it'd be like the Steam Deck in a way without the without Valve
the-
being the one collecting the money.
Without decent hardware, it's just a stream. It's the Logitech one's just a stream device. There's no like
Yeah.
graphics card or anything in it.
Yeah.
Really.
Nah.
But I wonder how deep it's going to go with the Xbox functionality in there, because if it's just the like Game Pass app, right, then that's not as appealing to me. Whereas
that's pretty much what it is.
if you could get the Xbox app also, which has the console streaming on it, right, is an added bonus, especially within the household, because I've been playing like 2K on my phone in bed lately, like on the Kishi. You know, if I could have that instead of having to use my phone, that'd be cool. Right, because like the Steam Deck, I can't do that with the Steam Deck. You know, the Steam Deck, I got the Game Pass, but I don't get that. You know,
there is a way that you can do console streaming. It's going to take.
Got to install Windows
coding.
and shit, probably, right? Or no?
I think so. It's the same thing with doing the remote play for the PlayStation. Eventually, I'm going to get that on my Steam Deck. It's just I don't feel like tinkering that much just yet.
I need your help some more with the emulators and stuff.
This device is pretty much just like an iPod. Like it's just a screen that has internet connection and controllers built on the side. That's all this is.
Which, if I said before, like if Xbox was to release a gaming device, that's what I would want it to be, because they don't need it to have like a really powerful hardware. If you have the cloud, you know, you can focus on having a badass screen and really good controls, and it's having an accessibly like cheap device to buy, like $200, you know what I mean, $250, something like that, and you buy it and you focus on those things as opposed to having performance, like hardware performance in it, because you're only streaming games off the cloud. You're not running these fucking AAA games like off the hardware itself.
I've never had a decent xCloud experience. Like
No?
Every time I've tried it on desktop with 250 download Ethernet connection, and it's dog shit. So it's like,
yeah. I mean, I have like flawless ones. Like if I'm sitting in Carline at like my daughter's school, it's like fucking playing almost like I was at home on the console. You know what I mean? I think it's just really weird how, I don't know, like if it depends on what server you're connected to or how it works.
Yeah, I don't know if it's region. Maybe like I get the fucking Xbox VCR models xCloud version.
Maybe it's like distance to like one of their server hubs or something. I'm not sure what causes certain people to have issues. Like if I do, here's the interesting thing, right? If I do xCloud in bed, I have issues, right? But if I do the cloud streaming like from console, it's pretty damn good, right? But if I'm like in the car somewhere random in the middle of nowhere, my Game Pass like app, like the xCloud works flawlessly, you know. So it just depends. I think there's obviously it's a tech that's getting better and better anyway, you know what I mean? So we don't know when this device is going to be released, but
maybe in 5 years I can try cloud again.
Yeah, I think
it also kind of depends on the game too, because I know outside of my Wi-Fi, Flight Sim, it's a no-go. But like a lot of other games, like what was the tag nabbit? Like the Midnight Fight Express, that worked flawlessly. But then again, it's not as graphically intense.
Yeah.
But Flight Sim,
I tried when the Pelican thing came out. It was like E3. I played Flight Sim in the cloud, and it was like 480p. And then before that, it was like maybe like January, like shortly after Horizon 5 came out, I was going to go back and get some Horizon 4 achievements. I didn't want to download the game, so I was like, I'll try xCloud on my computer, and it just was like 5 seconds of lag. It's like I can't play this.
I've been doing the cloud gaming on the TV and off the console also to do the Game Pass quest. You know, hey, play this game, get like 1 kill in this game or whatever, right? So I'll play that, so I don't have to install the whole damn game. And even with the console gaming, I've been having a pretty damn good experience with that also, with the console cloud. So I don't know, man. I think it just depends on the game, the person, the experience, where you are, um, time of day. You know, I had like so many different factors, but it's getting better and better. And if this device releases like in a year from now, then it'll be a year better with the cloud,
Mhm.
potentially, right? So, um, I have high hopes for it. I think it could be cool. I would rather use that than my phone because you know what? I want to use Twitter on my phone. Or like if I'm playing the X Cloud on here, like my notifications keep going off and shit. I'm like, fuck, I gotta check that. Then you gotta like go in and out of the app, and you gotta watch that dumb spaceship
Oh,
go across the screen again.
if I'm playing a game, I just disable notifications. It's like so they don't pop up.
Yeah, but I don't want to disable
Yeah.
them. I want to have my phone. I'm addicted to Twitter, right? So I need to have my phone with Twitter on, and then I need to have the device with my console game streaming and all these other things, right? So maybe it'll be another feature. Steam Deck is awesome for that, but I prefer Steam Deck more for the like running games natively because it's a fucking beast, dude. It is a beast when you run like Resident Evil 2 remake on there and you have it plugged into the outlet and you can just don't have to worry about the battery life. Oh my god, it is insane. Anyway, jeez, what else do we have to talk about, guys? What else happened today?
Tidbits.
Oh yeah, we do have tidbits, and we're almost 2 hours into the show. It's an hour and 40 minutes here. And thanks everybody for watching this whole show. Appreciate you guys. Spider-Man, Boba, Alvin. Shout out to Alvin, Decado, Ed Enzo. He says he plays Naraka through xCloud and the Series S on a wireless connection, and it runs great. That's awesome. What were we saying, Jasper?
I was gonna say tomorrow we might get a graphics card NVIDIA 4000 series revealed. That's kind of been the rumor going around today. So if
Really?
you want graphics cards, maybe check out that tomorrow if that's actually a true rumor. They had like a countdown on like Discord or something like that, I think.
Right. Cool.
No more EVGA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird, man. I don't understand. Like, I don't really know a lot about all that stuff anyway. So
apparently, it was NVIDIA was keeping the good boards and then sending the EVGA the shit ones, and EVGA was having to sell them at the recommended MSRP, so they were losing money on it, and it was hurting the company overall. But what's weird is it makes up 80% of EVGA's total revenue, so they just cut out 80% of their business. So I guess they're gonna either go into more power supplies or try to partner with AMD or Intel maybe for their new graphics cards.
Would love to see them help Intel or even AMD for that matter.
Yeah, I see a lot of people saying they're going to be switching to AMD now because of this. But do you think that's real, or are they just like they're just saying?
The CEO says he was real loyal to NVIDIA and doesn't have any plans, but a bag of money can change his mind.
Yeah, cutting out 80% of your business in one day is gonna fucking hurt.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Ah, wow. Well, in a day of craziness, we got games coming out this week, guys, and we got to talk about them. So guess what? It's time for where is it? Here it is.
There's some that have music.
Oh, are there? Okay.
Yeah.
Deathloop is questionable, and Session is definitely mute on Session.
Destruction Simulator
okay
might have music that's questionable.
Okay. Well, that's fantastic. Great. It's like there's a lot of games coming out this week. I saw the list. I was like, wow. Okay. But yeah, this is a segment here on FSP Fun Speculation Podcast where we look at the games releasing this week, and there seems to be quite a few games releasing this week. Sometimes there's some surprises, some games we never heard of. Some games we're like, whoa, that actually looks pretty damn fun. And so we're gonna get into some of these and find out what we got in store. So let me bring it up here. And if I can find my tab. Oh, here we go. First game is, you said Deathloop is questionable, so I will minimize that.
It's supposed to be original soundtrack, but it's a song that has been used elsewhere.
Yeah. So we got a Deathloop is launching tomorrow. It comes with the Golden Loop update, which has new content in it. It's also got like 4 different playing modes on it for like performance and ray tracing, all these different modes on there. So I'm curious what y'all are going to choose. I'm going to choose the 60 frames 4K mode personally.
I'm going for I guess there's like a 4K 60 quality, so it's like more on the image quality, and then I might try the ray tracing one just to see. I wish they would have just did, instead of doing 4K 30 ray tracing, do like maybe 1080 or 1440 with ray tracing, and do 60 or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know why this is coming through so damn blurry, because it says it's at 1080p 60, but that is not. Oh, there it goes. It's looking better now.
I thought that was just reaching.
I'm gonna play at the 4K 60 graphics one, because for me, like with my I have an AMD FreeSync monitor. I think if there's any kind of ups and downs there, it should probably take care of most of that.
Yeah.
This game is really fun game, guys. Like the quality. The one thing when people ask, like, hey, like it's an arcade game, I really don't like it, and arcade games never sell well. Well, this is like more like shooter controls wise feels better than any of the other arcade games I've played. It's a lot more fast paced, and there's a lot better stealth shooting mechanics. There's some exploration in here as well, to kind of find like hidden things and stuff. So this game I really enjoyed. It got like an 89 on Metacritic as well. So
that's pretty bad.
That's as high as any PlayStation exclusives gotten in a while.
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic score. And people that have played it for the most part seem to really like it. It gets shit on because it's an Xbox franchise now, and as soon as that happened, all of a sudden, oh, we can't like that, which you're seeing with Call of Duty now as well.
Yeah.
But overall, Deathloop, you guys pumped?
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, I enjoyed it on my PS5, but I didn't do the last part of it, the loop where you get the visionaries. I'm saving that to get the achievement on Xbox. Weapon play, awesome. The upgrades, the different weapon types, the animations for reloads and things like that are pretty cool. It does have gun jams, so on the lower quality stuff, just be prepared. The better quality stuff, you don't have to worry about as much. And then like there's mods, inserts, and abilities that will, kind of work or synergize with the weapon, or like with certain abilities that just makes this game so much fun to play.
I'm gonna try,
do
but
stealth or go loud.
I'm gonna try, but I'm really questionable on it because arcade games are kind of assy to me.
I think you're gonna like the way this one feels compared to the other ones, Jasper.
Yeah,
the guns are way better than they are other arcade games. But it is a single player based game. Yeah, I know you like multiplayer stuff a lot.
I've fucking been playing Halo 1 and 2 like the past 2 nights.
That's true.
Like...
I think you'll like it, man. I think you're gonna enjoy this one. Next game.
One tip.
Oh yeah,
one
go
quick
ahead.
Tip though. Turn off invasions at least as soon as you
when
can.
you start,
I mean, when you're ready and you're comfortable with the gunplay, then turn them back on. But
so 5 minutes in, got it.
Jasper, you cocky bastard. Have a good night, Psycho. Yeah, I got it pre-installed already, ready to go. I've already played a good amount of the game, but I've decided I wanted to start back scratch when it came to Xbox. And I'm glad I did, because now help solve this first party drought right now. Speaking of Game Pass, we got another one coming to Game Pass this week, and it's Hard Space Shipbreaker. Oh, also, hey, guys, for the invasion mode on Deathloop, it is crossplay. So you could be having PlayStation guys show up to Xbox guys show up at PlayStation, PC, all that stuff. Fantastic. But yeah, like I said, speaking of Game Pass, Hard Space Shipbreaker is releasing on Tuesday, the 20th. And
it's
it
already
is
in Game Pass on PC. So
already in Game Pass on PC. It's $36 if you buy it outright, $35.99. That's a weird price. But here's the trailer for Hard Space Shipbreaker.
Also Game Pass on Xbox tomorrow. So
yes,
you don't even have to buy it.
You've been selected from among thousands of candidates.
Hey, Cutter.
To join the Lynx family.
You're from Earth, right?
This is more than just a job. It's
an opportunity.
You ever miss it?
Caution.
Oh, shit, oh, shit.
Lynx. Making the world
a better place.
What they
I
say
want to play this
about
more
work
than
in space
Deathloop right now.
is true.
yeah.
There's something real.
It looks pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
You don't have power here. You never will.
Look around you. We're expendable.
I think this could be like Power Walker Simulator where you don't want to put it down.
Dancing between the ribs.
Is it? It's got a story to it. It sounds like there's a good story.
Yeah.
That's when the sky fills up with flames.
Ooh, that looked like a Mass Effect relay.
That's
I
the
think it's
way
like
things
Power Walker
go.
Simulator where you get addicted to tearing the ships down and you don't
Yeah.
want to stop.
Yeah, this game looks like it's got some good reviews in it as well, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that it was so highly praised. I'm looking forward to trying it out. There's so much stuff to play right now. Holy shit. And we don't even have a big first party year, guys, this year. It's overwhelming right now with games. Not enough time to play everything I want to play. Maybe I need to stop playing NBA 2K23 so damn much. I don't know.
Probably wouldn't hurt.
No, I gotta keep playing that game. I love it. All right, next up. Oh, geez. Lost the links. Hold on.
There's a lot of games this week.
There is a lot of games. We got another one coming, guys. Jack Move. That's coming on
What
PS.
did you say?
Jack Move. PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. And it is
Cyberpunk RPG.
Yeah.
interesting.
I have a real bad feeling about this. Gotta hurry.
You say PC and Switch?
PS4, Xbox One, and Switch.
Oh.
I knew something was wrong the moment I saw that woman.
I like the art style.
They were searching for something in my father's house.
I'm waiting to see what the game is.
Yeah, that's me too.
Did they take him?
Nice jacket.
Did they find what they were looking for?
1984, nice Easter egg right there.
Looks like everything here is untouched. I will find you.
Ooh, they got like gun ninjas.
See ya.
Oh, it's like Mega Man. Little red dog and you can fly.
Oh, here's the gameplay.
Oh.
Jasper. It actually looks pretty good to me. Is it turn-based like RPG?
Yeah.
Okay. It's already been out on Steam. I wonder what the reception's been.
I think it's been mostly positive.
Yeah. Hey, that looks pretty cool. Jack Move. And that's on the 20th as well, everybody. Next up is Solstice.
PlayStation.
Also on the 20th. This is PS5, Series X and S, and PC.
She is my protector.
It's like Devil May Cry or something.
Mm-hmm.
She is my sister.
Holy shit, there's a lot of games.
She gave her life so that we may face this evil as one.
I only got 2. The last one I put in there is for next week. I didn't need to.
Yeah.
We were created to stop it.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a Souls game, obviously. Like a Souls-like.
I would say it's more kind of like maybe Bayonetta or Devil May Cry. It seems like. It doesn't seem like it's as hard.
It says Solstice, so I'm assuming that name has like a...
We stand to face
I think
the darkness.
it's because you're like
Where
something to do
one
with your
will
weapon.
fall.
Like you forge a bond with your weapon, a soul.
Right, okay.
Together, we shall prevail.
You got that little ghost thing. It's
Right.
your soul.
Whoa, hey, scary face. So that is also the 20th. Man, there's a lot of stuff. All right, next up, guys, is Gundam Evolution. If you're a Gundam fan, check out this release on PC. It is free to play. This comes out on Wednesday.
This is the same trailer.
This is the same trailer. Hold on.
In this place of ruin and monsters.
Wrong game. Here we go. A free-to-play Gundam game. Free-to-play Gundam shooter?
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like Overwatch, I think. But
okay. This looks almost. This looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. This is like what I'd imagine of a Transformer, like a Transformers, like shooter, if it was to happen today.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was coming to consoles. You say it's just PC?
That's what it says on this.
For right now, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought this was a PlayStation show.
I think this is going to be one of those for 2023 for at least for PlayStation and possibly Xbox.
Yo, what's up, One Bad Mother? I'm liking it, guys. This is a really long trailer, so I mean, it depends on how it feels. You know, Crossfire X shows up really well on a screen, but it plays like ass on consoles.
I mean, it's all right.
I know you like it.
Oh, Jasper, did you try that most recent update for Crossfire or no?
Yeah, I played that new mode. It's Crossfire X. If you don't like Crossfire X, you're not gonna like the new mode.
Right.
It's like...
That's a good place to stop it. It's a long trailer. We got to get so many games, but yeah, Gundam Evolution, PC, Wednesday, free to play. Man, that is. I want that to come to console.
Yeah.
So hopefully it does. If anybody has any information on when that would be,
I'm pretty sure it was at a PlayStation show, so it should be.
Right on. I was impressed by the way the gameplay looked. This next one up is what's this called? This is called No Place for Bravery. This is on Switch and PC. Coming on the 22nd. It's $20, $19.99 USD. It's like a
Souls-like game.
Whoa, did a baby just pop out of a dead body? Make your family whole. It's camera around on his back. This doesn't look bad. Whoa.
Wow. Big red man just got chopped in half.
No place for bravery. Yeah, cool. Yeah, again, that one's on well, that's on Thursday, the 22nd.
PC and Switch.
Yeah.
This next game is coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, XS, Switch, PC. It's coming out to everything. And it's called Serial Cleaners.
I think this is like a part 2 or an update for an older game.
Is this where you clean up
came to
crime
PC
scenes?
way back when.
Yeah.
4 people sharing a table on a New Year's Eve. A plate full of troubling memories.
You like Serial Cleaner, Tony?
And a bitter taste of regret.
Shane also likes Crossfire X, Jasper, so there's two of you.
He's probably the only person I match with.
Distance are proud to present
Later, Boba.
Serial Cleaners.
I think my favorite cereal is like maybe a Captain Crunch or a Fruity Pebbles.
You know, I saw today was Cinnamon Toast Crunch popcorn. Yeah.
Wait, so it's popcorn like just
With cinnamon
seasoning.
toast.
It's not cereal, it's popcorn.
It's popcorn
Okay.
in a bag. I saw it at 7-Eleven, and it has Cinnamon Toast Crunch dust all over it.
I'm sure that's a
Story
actual
of
product that's made,
loyalty.
not just something 7-Eleven threw together.
Betrayal.
No, it was an act. It had Cinnamon Toast Crunch branding on the bag. I mean, it was like,
The past
it's
we
interesting.
share is all that stands in the way of redemption. If you remember the
by the way, did y'all see the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup animal crackers that are coming this November?
Was that real or was that just
That's
something
real. It's coming in November. Reese's Peanut Butter Cup animal crackers.
Wow.
Kate wants to know what her favorite cereal is. Oh my god. I'm gonna get
Fruit Loops, wasn't it?
no. It's she likes different. She likes Apple Jacks. She likes she likes Fruit Loops. She likes Tricks. I think her favorite's Tricks.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Tricks.
It was. I knew it was some fruity shit.
Tricks. All right, we got this next one is this is
Mute the
Brelsky.
music.
Mute the music on this one. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a PS4 or 5, Xbox One, X and S and PC game. It's coming out of preview, right?
Yeah.
If you
it was
had
on
got it,
preview for Xbox for like the past 6 months,
right?
and I think if you buy it now, it's like $24.99 on Xbox, but its release price will be $49.99.
Right on. So here we go. This game is called Session. It's a skateboarding game. I've seen this. I have not tried it.
It wasn't great.
I forgot to mute the fucking music. Here we go.
It's like really sim. Like it. When I play a skateboarding game, I want it to be like Skate, where you can kind of just goof off and like throw yourself off a building. And this is like really serious skater.
Right. It looks like, I don't know. Is it like, you think this is gonna like be as good as what Skate was potentially, or
No.
Yeah.
This is too hardcore. It's literally not the same. Like,
yeah,
this would be like comparing Flight Sim to like Ace Combat. It's like
yeah,
it's two different things.
Right.
I like the cool camera tricks and things like that they've added, because they've
Yeah.
updated the camera stuff to make it almost look more real as far as the angles and stuff. It's almost like if you had like a GoPro crew following you to film some of the stuff. It's kind of cool, but yeah, it's not the same controls as your typical arcade skater.
All right, so we also have Slime Rancher 2 is hitting
Game Pass.
I thought it had been announced that it was coming to Game Pass before, but maybe
Yes.
not.
The first one
Yes.
is.
It is? Okay.
Yeah,
It's
day
thinking-
and date Game Pass.
That's a bit. Slime Rancher is a big game. A lot of people love Slime Rancher. Original Slime Rancher is still played a shit ton today. This is a sequel coming to Xbox Series X and S and PC. No PlayStation release?
Not initially.
Okay.
This is our Bug Snacks kind of, but better.
Oh yeah, Slime Rancher is actually fun to play. Slime Rancher. My daughter's looking forward to this.
Got your little slime creature there.
Yeah, you basically capture beings and throw them into cages and then let them
You try to
duplicate
let them mate
with
so
each
you can
other.
Get, different slimes, yeah. And then you sell like their shit, don't you? Like on the market.
Yeah.
To make money.
Ooh, exploding. A lot of people are looking forward to this game. This next one I am excited about. This next one I am extremely excited about because I played the demo and the demo was kick-ass and it is my style of game all the way. The game I am mentioning is the Deathloop Chronicle. It's coming to PS4 and 5, Xbox One X and S, Switch and PC, coming to everything. They didn't skip Xbox this time around. Square threw Xbox a bone here and it's like, hey, we'll let you have one of our niche titles.
You get either Octopath 2 or this, so
Or
right.
yeah.
I'm super happy that this is coming because this game rocks, actually, guys. I highly recommend trying out the demo at least if you like JRPGs or tactics style games. I'm gonna be playing it for sure. Here's the trailer.
Square Enix.
In a world where the righteous one does not hold the power.
We are the Blue Foxes. Perhaps you've heard of us.
Nope.
That new
Never
massive
have.
group based in Central Field.
This will be the Blue Fox's first long-distance deployment. Expect a major battle.
About
This is a
50
full price
carried
game
out
also.
from the east, with 5,000 enemy soldiers thought to be on board.
Their aim is to break our lines, but we will stand firm to
Man,
the
the
bitter
story
end.
seems so cool, and then you
We
get to
may
this
even be able to
gameplay
take
and
back
like, what
Depka
the
if
fuck
we
is
pursue
this?
them now.
It's great, Jasper.
We'll hold them here.
It's like it's tactics game, but you have freedom of movement.
Yeah, but it feels like I'm just getting screwed
Jake has
over
been
like a
used as a
mobile game ad.
catalyst
You see
for
like an
ancient
awesome mobile
sorcery.
game ad, and then you go see the
For
one.
record
That's what it
gap.
feels like when you see one
It
of
is
these.
bountiful
Right.
here on
JRPG
Deerfield,
games.
but not on the mainland, where it fetches a pretty penny.
A
You see, like,
resource
look, you got like
looms on the horizon.
cinematics, and it's like, oh,
There's parts in the gameplay where you're running around, like you can run around this area here as like a big character.
Simply unacceptable.
Yeah, Decado liked the demo. There we go.
This is a predicament of your own making.
I am well prepared. All I wish for is to keep fighting alongside you.
Our time will come. We must be patient.
Andreas
Like this
Rondartson,
wicked path, I ask you all to lend me your strength.
Frederick Lester. The names that come up with are hilarious. Walter Quinn Redditch.
Realize that I have lost sight of
Iskarion Colchester.
Surely you know what has become of the ordinary people of my area.
Yo, what's up, Dip Down Games? How's it going?
Sorcery.
Enough of this.
how long is this trailer?
I don't know how long this trailer
United against
is.
the Empire.
It's almost over.
Oh,
Is it not obvious? We must bring the traitor to justice.
So what will he
I caught
believe
Dip Down Games over on Iron Lords today, yesterday. Awesome show.
Nice.
The Deathloop Chronicle. Yes, get this game, everybody. If you like JRPGs on Xbox, they're going to be watching how the sales go, right? Square does. And if you don't want to keep getting fucked by Square on Xbox, then they will hopefully bring more games if this one sells well. I am really looking forward to playing it. The demo was really cool. If you like those kind of games, it's not going to be for everybody, right? It's definitely not for everybody, but if you like tactics games, if you like JRPGs, it's solid from what I've played so far for sure. Then we got, what is this next game? DreamWorks Dragons Legend of the Nine Realms is releasing this week.
sweet.
Yeah, DreamWorks Dragons. I'm guessing this one might have copyright music as well.
I think so.
PS4, PS5, Xbox. It's coming out to everything, and it's $50 on the 23rd. I'm gonna have to mute this sucker. Is this gonna be competition for your Dreamlight Valley, Jasper?
Nah, I think I'm about done with that game.
Yeah, You about done? You get all your pumpkins harvested?
Yeah, just for anything else to do, I got to put in like another like 200 hours of work to get anything out of it, and I'm just like, I'm done.
Right. Wow, this is I want to see like what this game is. I see that this is based on the Dragons game movies, obviously.
Yeah.
Not a lot to say about this one so far. Here we go. We got some. Is it like a Pokemon? Like Dragon Combat? No?
No. I think it's just like a shitty license game that we used to get.
Yeah, that's what this looks like. This does. I mean, I'm just gonna be real. This doesn't look very good. Yep, 100%. That's what this is, Jasper. If you were moving around collecting some kind of like tokens in a linear path, that's exactly what this kind of game is. All right, so yeah, that one's coming out. If you're a big fan of dragons, maybe there's something in this for you. But hey, guess what else we got coming this week, guys? I almost fucked up our whole stream. I almost like copied over the wrong URL here. We got Shovel Knight Dig coming to Switch. Damn, that's loud. Switch, PC, and iOS.
Is this
on
just
Friday.
Shovel Knight, but ported over to Switch and Android or whatever?
Yes, and PC.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's coming on the 23rd. Yeah, this looks like a worse version of Shovel Knight to me.
I mean, it's made for a phone now, so.
Right. Did any of y'all ever beat Shovel Knight?
No.
Never played it.
You never played Shovel Knight?
No.
It's pretty good, man.
I know there was a lot of people that kind of blew their load over it. It was like supposed to be a great game, but just never played it.
Yeah, Shovel Knight. Dig. It's more Shovel Knight. All right, so we got this next one, guys, is Taiko no Tatsujin. It's a rhythm festival. It's coming to Switch. This is
it's a rhythm of the night.
Oh, night.
Nintendo Switch system.
Oh yeah.
Omiko City, the sacred town for taiko drums.
I don't know if that song will be in this.
Master, along with brand new character Kumo-kyun. Drum to dozens of boppin' beats, including
Oh my god.
Oh, it's like Metal Hellsinger.
Feel special.
Oh yes, 100%.
And that's not all. An orchestral version of the main theme from The Legend of Zelda is included.
I'm reading the words.
Total. Plus, take advantage of a practice mode to replay.
Oh, is this the one that has all those Nintendo songs in it?
No,
okay.
that was the. Or was that the Final Fantasy? Because they're doing a Final Fantasy one. Like that,
okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Or face off against each other in Great Drum Toy War.
That was wasn't that Zelda?
But yeah, they said there's a special Zelda song.
Oh, okay.
Drum to your heart's content. When Taiko no Tatsujin Rhythm Festival launches on Nintendo Switch this year.
All right.
A paid in-game subscription service that gives you access to over 500 songs will be available at launch.
I think that was the game that was just at the Nintendo Direct.
Oh, maybe it was.
I think they have
there was
a lot
Final
more.
Fantasy game where they were also doing that too. So
well, I remember they said that there was like some kind of thing you can do and get over 500 songs, right? So that's where I'm connecting the dots there. But yeah, that comes if you have a Switch. That comes out on the 23rd. Everybody, if you like rhythm games, lots of songs to choose from. Now we got 2 more games to come. These are Jasper's finds, so you can think.
You mute the construction game. Mute that because it has music in it.
Okay. So if these are a waste of your time, you can thank Jasper.
Well, this first one, I think Caitlin may like.
Shoot.
So.
You think so?
Rated everyone.
All right, so this is Construction Simulator.
Station.
And it is coming out on the 20th. Everything but Switch. Because yeah, right.
They don't want those switches catching on fire.
Yeah. So you're gonna dig dirt?
You're building a fucking house, dude.
You're gonna build a whole house?
You can build a house. You can build a bridge. You can build a skyscraper. You can build a damn hospital.
Okay.
Brother, you can get in the backhoe and you can dig out some dirt and put it in a dump truck, and I'll take it down to the dump.
Right on. I feel your brother.
You can get Fuzzy, operate the crane, put in the steel beams, and get 3-bit poured of concrete.
Well, we want the concrete to be poured properly. I don't know if we should let 3-bit do it. Yeah, this looks pretty cool, man. Kate just said, "Wow." I don't know if she's talking about your accent or if the game. Do you like? Is this Game Pass?
No, I think it's like $45 or something like that.
Right. Okay.
90 plus constructions.
It seems like a lot of. I mean, this is like pretty in depth. Here, I wonder how much of it you're actually directly controlling, or if it's like
be any of those trucks.
Any of the trucks. Okay. How was this not on Game Informer's list? I mean, it looks massive.
Yeah.
Everything but Switch again, guys. So Construction Simulator. And then we also got a game called man, I almost did it again, dude. Proteus. Proteus 1.0. So I'm guessing it's been in preview or something. And this is releasing on everything on the 23rd. This looks like Metal Hellsinger.
Yeah.
What's weird is the same day that like this trailer came out on IGN, there was 4 other games that kind of have this Doom style like 90s look or whatever. It's like, okay, it was weird that 4 of them come out, but
Dip Down says Switch Pro needs to come out. Oh my god, yes it does. I would buy it immediately. This looks pretty hardcore, bro.
Player created levels.
Yeah.
BFG right there.
This looks like a community-driven Doom clone. It is in Game Pass. Also, guys.
Is it?
Yeah, it says
I didn't even realize
it
that.
says Game Pass, Series X and S, Xbox One, Windows down there. Yeah, so this is hitting Game Pass, guys. And this is releasing on the 23rd. I had no idea we got another Game Pass game, guys. So Metal Hellsinger, then Proteus. Pretty awesome.
And there was Hard Space or whatever. And
Hard Space. And Deathloop.
One more. Yeah. Oh, and Slime Rancher.
Slime Rancher. Yeah, this is a good week for Game Pass. So you got Slime Rancher 2, Proteus. You got Deathloop. Then what else was there?
Hard Space.
And Hard Space. Shipbreaker. Shitbreaker?
Yep, Shitbreaker.
Shit?
Yep.
Okay. That's a damn good week for Game Pass.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, we just got Metal Hellsinger. Also, I mean, that was like 2 days ago, something like that. Pretty damn good week, guys. You got to give them credit here where it's due, because Xbox got no games and all that stuff. There's been conversation still about that. I think some of that will be put aside for the week, at least with Deathloop, and we got Grounded 1.0 coming on Xbox soon.
Deathloop came out last year on PlayStation, doesn't count.
Yeah, then they'll say Grounded doesn't count because of game preview, right? Then Pentiment's gonna happen.
That don't count as double A.
Then you got games like that are like kind of partnership deals, like Scorn coming.
That don't count. That's not first party. It's like the PlayStation crowd that's like nothing counts, but it's like, oh, we got Stray and it's in our subscription service. Like
they're claiming they got Elden Ring now because Sony bought 15% of the company.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they own all the trash cans in the building. Look out.
Tony says, I thought Deathloop was supposed to launch at midnight. Says I'm too early. It's a global launch, so it's really want to do one of those releases where it releases everywhere instantly at the same time. So it's not midnight local times. I don't know what the time is. I think Pong told us in the chat earlier.
It's like 3 p.m. or something.
Yeah, 3 p.m. Eastern time, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually what it is, like when it's the global launches.
3 p.m.
p.m. I think.
Oh, because p.m. would be tomorrow in the afternoon, which is gonna suck.
Oh man. So, all right, guys. Well, that's gonna do it for the show. Chat, you guys have been rocking now for 2 hours. We had a little bit longer tidbits section because there was a lot of damn games here. But yeah, overall we had an awesome show. We talked about the industry shenanigans going on in the last few days. We talked about Call of Duty. We got to talk about Halo Infinite Forge, all this stuff, and excited really for all the games coming out this week. It's going to be lots of stuff to play. If I can pull myself away from NBA 2K23. Absolutely. Fuzzy, always Fuzzy One, thanks for everything you do also each week with our tidbits section, especially helping me get those links ready to go. Tell everybody where they can find you, bro.
Oh, it was just awesome being on here with you guys and everyone that came out in the chat tonight. Thank you guys for showing up tonight. Man, for anybody who just wants to hear my ramblings on anything gaming, just follow me on Twitter, Fuzzy_Belvedere. And then come back here on Friday night for Xbox Ultimate. We'll be back at it again. And I'm pretty sure you guys also have the shows on Thursday with PM and PM. So definitely check that out as well on Fun Speculations channel. But thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
It's
and
awesome being with you guys.
you got shop on Saturday night too, right?
Shop on Saturday, Breakfast with Boom on Friday, on Double Barrel Gaming at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Shop on Saturday on PTK Blam's channel with Pong at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then right back here on FSP 10 p.m. on Monday right here on FSP or on Fun Speculations channel.
Right on, man. Appreciate you as always, dude. And Jasper, the Debbie Downer himself, with a lot of positivity this week, I'll have to say. Lore Master, no, not too much.
I just don't know that I'm ever negative, but I mean, I guess I am.
No, you're the realist. You put us in check when we go like off the rails on something. You're like, I don't think that's what it was. I think it was just somebody saying something. Or like when we like, hey, they're acquiring the, you always put us in check. So that's where that comes in. You're not really a downer. You're not a pessimist. You're a realist. The realist, Lore Master Jasper. Tell everybody where they can find you, bro.
And everything I was seeing is saying Deathloop comes out at midnight. So I don't know if it's maybe you just need to restart your Xbox or whatever, but
that's what you're seeing? Because somebody told me earlier that it was going to be.
I just looked at two different websites. They both said like midnight, but they could have copied off each other. So I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, Lore Jasper on Twitter, Lore Master Jasper on YouTube. I'll probably be streaming whenever the Call of Duty debate comes out. That's probably the next thing I'll be doing on my channel. Is whenever that goes live, I'll be playing that for like 5 hours. So stay tuned for that. And then it's FSPs on Monday and Xbox Ultimate is on Friday nights right here on this channel. So as always, check that out. That's about it.
Awesome, bro. Pong said pissed, no New Zealand trip for Deathloop. Universal launch time. So maybe I don't know. Like I guess there's conflicting things out there. I know that Pong was really looking forward to playing it like right when it came out. So but yeah, guys, like Fuzzy had mentioned, also we got a PM in the PM on Thursday. Pong Soul and I, it's our Thursday show, 7 p.m. Eastern here on this channel. And this week we're gonna have Jez Corden from Windows Central on. It's gonna be a fun show. But this week I just said 7 p.m. Eastern. I lied. This Thursday is a special time because we moved it up to not be rude to our British guest, or who's actually not even in the UK right now. He's somewhere else, so it's even later. So we're actually having a special time on Thursday's show. So we're going live at 3 p.m. Eastern this Thursday. So check Pong Soul and I out Thursday at 3 p.m. and we'll have Jez on the show. And it's a good week with all these like industry weird things going on with all the leaks and rumors and all this kind of stuff. So we're looking forward to having him on. And then we'll be back Friday for Xbox Ultimate Podcast at 9 p.m. Eastern Time with these two, as well as amazing other people in the community are going to be hanging out with us. And then game streams and more. We do it all. So Appreciate everybody for checking out all of our content.
Did you say James Gordon?
Did I say James? I said Jez, right? Did I say Jez?
I don't. That's what I was going to ask. I wasn't really paying attention.
Did I say James? Did I say? No, not the talk show host. The Windows Central writer. Not James Gordon. That'd be funny.
Next week is James Gordon.
Yeah, next week is James. Yeah, this week is Jez. You know, I appreciate everybody in the chat. You guys rock. The chat was flying as always here on our show, and appreciate you guys. So have a good one. Take it easy, and we'll see you later. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Later.